Good evening internet, my name's Charlie Phillips. I'm going to do you a quick video on how to change a three-way valve on a Fracino Heavenly. It's a pretty standard coffee machine with lots of stainless on it, a semi-professional group head on it, steam, hot water. The symptom you get is that it doesn't work. More specifically, it won't put any water out through the group head. If we turn it on, you can see the power lights on. You hit the switch, it pumps, but nothing comes out. When you let go, nothing comes through the three-way valve. I don't want to leave it switched on because I don't want it hot whilst I'm working on it. But I'll take you through the change procedure now. That's actually not too bad. So, unplug it. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer now so that we can see what happens. Okay, so I've brought you in a little bit closer. I know what's wrong with this machine. I've had it to pieces already, but I thought I'd go through the cover removal so you can see how it works. It's an H3 hex tool, and effectively you need to take all the screws off the top. As I say, I haven't done these up too tightly because I wanted to get it apart quickly. Potentially this is the hardest part of the whole process because all of this stainless is fairly springy. So we're looking at the inside of the machine now. If I turn it, I can point out the major components for you. So we've got large copper boiler. This is the recirculation for the group head. This is the valve that turns the water and refills the boiler. This is the reservoir of water, return pipe, feed pipe, and that's effectively the temperature regulator. The bit we want to change isn't on this side. The bit we want to change is underneath there. So just with spanner, the main nut comes off, the cover comes off. I'll leave these here because I want to find them. This copper bushing comes off. And then there's a nut that holds the bottom of this unit. Now, I've loosened all of this off already because I know what's here. It's very likely yours is an awful lot harder to remove. So the solenoid itself, it's got a little yellow washer marking it on the bottom. It just slides down. 2 wires. This version is a YB09. There are other versions with 3 wires. This particular one has only got 2. That's all you need to do to remove it. Notice that it's upside down. So the wiring for this, we want to find the 2 wires. We've got one end that is just on the back of the switch, and another end that is on the back of the LED here. It just literally pushes on. We need to get it off the clips. This is quite an old machine, so the clips are pretty dated and delicate by now. Now the nice thing about a coil like this is it really doesn't matter which way round they go. All we've got to do is pull them out. From the looks of things, this one may have been attacked before. Coil off. New coil. Hot from eBay. $19.99, something like that. Feed the wires back in. It's often easier if you do feed them in one at a time. Remember, it goes back on upside down. I'm not terribly happy about the proximity of the wires here to the back cover, but I think we will survive. So one end on the switch, the other end on the back of the indicator, the neon. Okay. Put the bolts back on. Yellow washer. Bit dirty in there. Guide bush. That one goes on afterwards. Let's put the cover on it. Most of what a coffee machine is cover plates. Okay. So that's the solenoid changed. Let's do a quick test. It's on. Water coming out of the three-way valve on, switch off. All done. And it starts heating up. Switch it off again, unplug it. It is very worth unplugging this, because as you're putting the metalwork back on, you're quite likely to touch something live in there. Now comes the hardest part of this whole job, getting all this cover metalwork back on. Don't actually know how old this machine is. I suspect it's a 90s vintage. I know that they still make it now in 2020, but it's a little bit simpler. Not quite so many frills on it. I said, this is definitely the hardest bit. Presto, done. Let it warm up and make a coffee. So we're back at the machine, it's all together, it's up to temperature, we're showing pressure, and we're showing about 85-90 degrees on the grip head. Let's give this a little test and see if we can make a coffee. We're looking for about 16 grams of coffee. It's a double group basket, and that's about 16 grams. I'm usually fairly good on the eye. Tamped with 30 pounds. Whilst you're supposed to time this to 27 seconds, I usually look actually what the mouse tail or rat's tail that we're looking for is like. It looks pretty good from here. The Heavenly's got a very good steam wand. It's basically commercial standard, so it'll steam up this milk in no time at all. Huh, not too bad, just for a change. Not bad coffee at all. So it's all working, it's all fixed. In terms of cost of parts, £19.95 plus postage of £2.50 for the YB09 solenoid, and it took about 10 minutes to fix it. So we've turned a 20-year-old machine that was dead back into a working machine. Really not very hard, and fantastic coffee without having to spend thousands on a brand new machine. Have fun and enjoy your coffee. Good night.